Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today we're going to be going over the all-new Hyundai Kona N. Before we get into this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Murdoch Hyundai here in Linden, Utah for giving me some time with this Kona N. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Spencer. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money, the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder paired to an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 27 on the highway, with power outputs being 276 horsepower and then 289 pound-feet of torque. Now before we go over the front end, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see you've got distinctive lines there on either side. I love this red paint, by the way, and also you can see that they kind of borrowed some design cues from Audi, just saying. Really cool daytime running light, and then you guys can see the headlight action down below. Notice how it's blacked out below that, and the grille as well as the Hyundai logo also all blacked out, which looks really sporty. And putting it all together, this Kona N looks really cool. So popping around the side here, tire and wheel setup is 235, 40, 19 in the front and in the rear as well. And then you guys can see here with the wheel design, pretty crazy looking, but I think it works with the Kona N. Now you can see we've got the cool N branded red brake caliper. We also have an electronic limited slip differential as well as electronically adjustable suspension. So this thing does some pretty fancy stuff when it comes to trying to make it so it handles the best. Look at the body painted fender flares here, and then you guys can see how it's kind of like blacked out there at the bottom. Mirror cap also blacked out, as well as the roof rails. And then if we take a few steps back and look at the full side view here, it looks really cool. And of course we got another N logo right there. Now taking a look at the key fob here, you guys can see we've got the unlock function, the lock function, remote start, and then we've got the N logo there on the back of the key fob. And popping the hatch here in the rear, you guys can see we have a cargo cover built in from the factory and quite a bit of storage space. Again, this is a very small CUV is what technically is classified as, but it's pretty dang practical. And then when you're done, just plop. Now this has the normal Kona lights here on the back. Of course, we've got our N badge and then normal Hyundai logo, actually, chrome. It's not blacked out like the front. And then you guys can see the Kona badge right there. But the crazy thing is these exhaust tip covers. I mean, those are aggressive. And putting it all together, this looks really cool, especially with that spoiler there at the top of the roof. It's a fun looking car. With the rear door panel, we've got really nice padding here and then down below as well. And then look at the door handle itself, kind of darker with the coloration. And then this is where things get real fancy. Look at that blue stitching here at the seats, and you got like the Alcantara all down the center portion as well. I love that. Legroom back here is pretty decent. We've got a little storage area with the USB and got a cargo net. And then headroom's also solid. And look at this, cup holder armrest. Now taking a look at the front door panel here, you guys can see again with all of the padding, and then look at our window controls right here with our door lock and unlock, and then our mirror adjustments, and the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then with the front seat, look at the padding there, and then another N logo, and then you guys can see how it's kind of like perforated there in the center with the Alcantara. I think that's cool with the design. And then we have our power adjustments and another N logo. Pretty fancy looking pedals. This actually comes with hill descent control, and then the steering wheel is manually adjustable. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see the padding here at the top and at the bottom with yet another N logo. Perforated here on the side though, which feels really good. Nice paddle shifters here on the back. This does come with our cruise control and then our steering assist. And then you guys can see our little N modes here. And then we have our non-grin shift, which makes the transmission really aggressive. And then you guys can see we've got our turn signal light stock and then our windshield wiper stock. Full digital gauge cluster here in the center. We can scroll through different menus, see different bits of info on the vehicle, pretty standard stuff. And then when we change the drive modes, notice it gives us a cool animation for different modes. And then you got those N modes as well, which, I mean, that's what makes things really fun, is when you change with the different N modes. I don't know, I think that part is fun. But anyways, that's the center. Now we've got a backup camera here with trajectory lines. They turn with the steering wheel, pretty standard stuff. So here's the infotainment system. Response time with the screen itself is really solid, but my favorite thing is this N mode tab. It shows you basically a bunch of performance information, but notice we can customize everything with this car, including the limited slip differential, the suspension. Like, you can make it as crazy race car as you want, or you can, you know, tune it more towards the luxury side. So it's pretty cool they give you that customization. Now down below, we've got a single zone climate system, and then you guys can see all the rest of the controls for that. And then right here, you've got a wireless phone charging pad with some charging ports. Shifter with the N logo there at the top, stability control, heated seats on the other side with our drive mode select. And then I love how it's perforated here with the parking brake. That looks really nice. Couple cup holders, and it's pretty normal center console, frankly. And then popping into the glove box area, also pretty normal. And then this has a manual mirror dimmer and then just a darker colored headliner. So here's our window sticker for this Kona N, and it still has Hyundai's normal warranty on it, even though it's basically a race car. Total MSRP $36,420, which, you know, for a hot hatch in today's world is very affordable. Let's see how it drives. Okay, well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood. Both mirrors, just do a blind spot monitoring. And throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, we are going to set right off. And if you guys haven't been following the channel for a super long time, then you don't know that I actually had one of these as a tester for a week. And it was a blast. I want to talk about kind of what I learned after having this for a week as a tester. First off, this is not an SUV. That's something that a lot of people will mix up with this. Also, that is crazy. I said the steering wheel turned. I forgot about that. Anyways, yeah, this is not an SUV. This is a hot hatch. That is the way that you need to look at the Hyundai Kona N. I think too many people look at this as like an SUV, and so then they're like, well, I don't really want it. But if you look at this as like a hot hatch that's like maybe slightly lifted, then I think then you get kind of like the right, I guess, impression on what this is supposed to be, because it handles amazingly well. It's crazy with like just the overall driving dynamics. It's so aggressive, and again, it just does the hot hatch stuff. So getting up and moving here, transmission is very responsive. Now, one thing to know about the Kona is because this thing is so like race car, it's pretty dang stiff. The suspension, even like, well, that's custom one. So we're in, let's actually do, we'll do this. Okay, no, we're in normal mode. So normal mode's basically gonna have everything set to softer. This is what the custom modes are set to. And even in this mode, like, it's not like uncomfortable, but like you feel things. And these seats, right, being bucket seats, are a little bit more aggressive with the bolsters and with the padding and everything. And so just understand that this is not a luxury car. That's not the intention of the Kona N. The Kona N is supposed to be, again, like a hot hatch. So it's going to be a little bit more, you know, harsh with the ride and everything. But I think that's okay, because that leads to this having really solid handling because of all of that. And yeah, this transmission. Oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yeah, it's super responsive, and the sounds that this makes are fantastic. Like, it's a fun car. But yeah, going over this, like, you can tell it's more of that firm ride, which, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like it. We're getting up and moving a little bit further. Something I want to mention is the turning radius on the Kona N is not the greatest. You think it'd be great because it's super small, but it's front wheel drive, and that's the thing with front wheel drive cars, is they always have like a pretty crazy turning radius. Now we're gonna pop this into our custom, our N mode. So everything's gonna be aggressive. Suspension's gonna get super firm, which, let me tell you, when you have this in its firmest setting, it's a bumpier ride. That is for sure. And yeah, you can tell this thing's race car. So we're gonna pop into the manual mode here. Yeah, just like the response with this dual clutch, it's crazy. And this is not even in the non-grit and shift. So downshift one, I'm just taking things slow because we got performance tires on this and it's cold outside, but got the non-grit shift on for another 18 seconds. 14 seconds. Okay. It's like instant. Like, look how instant that is with the shifts. So crazy. Definitely adds to the fun, that is for sure. And brakes are really good on it too. But yeah, this thing is, and it puts down the power really well. For being a front wheel drive car, like, again, with the differential they put on this and everything, it's great. Again, I lived with one of these for a week, and it was so much fun. So, look at the Kona N as a hot hatch, not as an SUV, right? Actually, look at it as a more practical hot hatch, because this feels more spacious than a lot of other hatchbacks. And I think if you look at it from that perspective, then you realize that this thing is an absolute blast to drive, and it's very practical as well. But let me know what you guys think about the Kona N.